Good morning, everyone. Let us continue the same chapter that which we had started in our previous class, and the chapter it was KAKI. The name of the chapter it was KAKI, chapter number 6. That day in our previous class we had completed page number 83. So today we are going to continue our class from page number 84, and it is para number 5. Okay, let us go through the chapter right there. The students, those who were not present on that particular day when I started this chapter, in order to understand the remaining part of the story, you all are supposed to follow the previous video well, so that it will be easy for you to understand the remaining part of the story. So here I begin. The fragrance of ghee and spices made her mouth water. Here, Kaki, who was all alone sitting in her room, but at the moment, because of the preparation of the various kinds of spicy dishes, and in which ghee it was used, because of the fragrance of the ghee, smell of the ghee, as well as the varieties of the spices which were used to make different types of dishes, the house, the atmosphere of the house was so, it was filled with fragrance, very tasty and delicious smells. If only she could take one puri in her hands to feel it, Kaki made up her mind to go and watch the puri being fried. So now here Kaki, she is now really very much found to be eager and anxious to go and see how the puris were being fried, and she is also feeling very attracted towards to those preparation of the varieties of the delicious dishes. She is now drawn her attention towards to those preparing places, and that's why she makes up her mind, and now she goes ahead towards to those preparing places where the dishes were being prepared. And if only she could take one puri in her hands to feel it, Kaki made up her mind to go and watch the puris being fried. She likes to go over there and likes to see and notice how the puris are being prepared. Crouching on her hands and feet, with the help of her hands as well as feet, both crouching herself, her body, Kaki slowly crossed the threshold. Threshold means entrance, and crept close to the kadai and sat down. She very much slowly, without any kind of knowledge to others, crouches and walks ahead with the help of her all the four limbs, and goes very near to the kadai. Kadai is the local language, it has been used here for the utensil which is used for frying the puris, and just goes very close to the kadai, and she sat down over there. Rupa was almost run off her feet, now in this room, now in that, now near the cooking area, then in the store. She was running in every directions, getting irritated, exasperated. Exasperated here it means irritated and annoyed. She was really very much feeling annoyed, yet attending to everything. So who was the person found to be very busy and active throughout the rooms in the different corners of the house? Rupa. Rupa was found very much busy here, almost run off her feet. Every places, every directions, she was trying to attend the each and every guests, those who had arrived, to fetch them various foods as well as water, everything whatever it was needed to be provided to them. She was very busy now in this room, in that room. Sometimes she was visiting to this, sometimes to that, each and every room that she was visiting, and near the cooking area, then in the store. She was running in every directions, getting irritated, exasperated, and at the same time, because of such type of busy in work, sometimes she used to get very much irritated and annoyed too, yet attending to everything. But she was never letting down. She was trying her best to attend to everybody, to everything. It was in this state of mind that she saw Kaki sitting beside the kadai. In the meantime, her attention goes towards to Kaki, who was at the moment sitting just near the kadai. She was furious and reprimanded. Reprimanded means here scolded. By looking this, by finding this, that Kaki was just sitting near the kadai, she becomes very angry. She scolds her, she becomes irritated and starts scolding to Kaki, So it was this state of mind that she saw Kaki sitting beside the kadai. She was furious. Furious means to get very angry, and reprimanded, scolded the old woman. Shame on you, she shouted at Kaki. Why couldn't you sit in your room? This is how here Rupa scolds to Kaki. Kaki, why you are not sitting in your own room? The guests haven't eaten yet. No offering has been made to God, and you couldn't wait till this much of the time. We have not even offered the cooked materials to God even, and none of the guests to have been given the food to eat. Okay, go back to your room. You could not wait for some time. Now better you go back to your room and take some rest. Later on I will be calling you and providing you food. That is what she meant to say to Kaki when she notices that Kaki was sitting near the kadhai where the various food materials, especially the puris, were being fried. You will eat when the family eats. You are not a goddess who should be fed before all others. You will be fed after later some time when all the family members also will be eating. At that time you will be also given your share. So you are not such a goddess that you should be given before all the others. This is how Rupa also passes some kind of scorching words towards to the woman at the time, Kaki, especially to Kaki here. Kaki neither spoke nor cried. Quietly she crept back to her room. In this way, Kaki, she neither spoke nor cried nor nothing. She reacted at all. Instead, she slowly and very quietly crept back towards to her own room at that moment. The feast was ready. Feast means everything, the prepared food items. These were all ready at this time. Leaf plates were laid on the floor. As you are all aware, whenever during occasions, celebrations, plates made of leaves are spreaded on the floors. If the visitors are sometimes provided with the chairs and tables, and sometimes in the earlier time people used to get to sit down on the floor itself and then used to have their food, whatever it would be, served to them. The guests began to eat. Kaki sat in her room regretting her hasty behavior. Now, as soon as Kaki goes back to her own room, she regrets for the kind of behavior that she had shown, the kind of hasty here, the behavior in hurry, the behavior shown in hurry, that is called as hasty behavior, which she was showing at that time. She was regretting for it, and she was not angry with Rupa, but she did not get angry with Rupa because whatever Rupa said, it was absolutely correct. How could family members eat before the guests had eaten? She decided that she wouldn't go until she was called. In this way, finally she also realized, Kaki also realized that until and unless the guests are not given the food, how she being herself a family member could be eating first, This is what she realizes her mistake, and that is what now she decided, that until and unless she is not called, she is never going to back to the place where the dishes were being served. The old woman hummed. Hummed here it means sang with closed lips and made a low sound. So in this way she started to sing within her own mouth. The old woman hummed as she waited to be called. She thought of all the food awaiting her and left that she had been singing for too long. She couldn't hear a sound. Why had no one called her? Kaki wondered. In this way, when she was humming herself in that room where she was sitting as she waited to be called, and she was waiting eagerly for the call, when the call would be made for her, she thought of all the food awaiting her and felt that she had been singing for too long. Now she was feeling as if the food items, different types of food items which were cooked may be also waiting for her, and she was thinking why it is taking too much time for being called. She couldn't hear a sound. She was not hearing even a single sound till this much of the time. Why had no one called her? Kaki wondered. This made Kaki really to get wondered, surprised. Why this much of the time no one is making a call to me? she stole into the courtyard. So now quietly once again she crept and stole towards to the outside courtyard. The guests were still seated. Till this much of the time also she notices that all the guests were sitting, licking their fingers and enjoying the meal. The right moment, the sight which Kaki notices where the guests were still sitting and they were licking their fingers because the food items were maybe very tasty, because of which the guests were licking their fingers and enjoying the meal which were served to them. They were shocked to the see the old lady. Budhiram noticed her and became red with embarrassment. He caught hold of Kaki and pulled her back into her gloomy room. Once again, who notices her over there? Budhiram once again notices Kaki that she had come here and in front of the visitors, in front of the guests, once again she had appeared. So it makes Budhiram to become much more angry. He became embarrassed, red with embarrassment. That is why now he happens to catch hold of Kaki's arm and once again he pulls him towards to her gloomy and dark room. So this is what, children, we are able to come to learn here in this particular page number 85, in which we are coming to know and learn about Kaki and her behavior regarding her greediness towards, especially for such very delicious and tasty food materials. Nothing she was that much longing or that much her big desires, big hopes, big thoughts for herself, but she had a great interest and love and very much a kind of interest, especially for the delicious and tasty dishes. She could not control herself whenever such type of times or occasions it was found, whenever times would come that delicious dishes would be cooked. The guests had eaten, the family had eaten, the help had had their meal. Everybody had eaten, guests, family, everyone had completed their meal. Okay, even the help had had their meal, but no one thought of Kaki. Each and everyone, even the helping persons, they also had already taken their meal, but no one till now remembered Kaki. But no one thought of Kaki. Only little Ladli felt both sorrow and surprised at her parents' behavior. Now who feels at this moment about Kaki? Only that little Ladli. She feels very much with sorrowfulness in a state, sad in a state she was at that moment, and surprised too at her parents' behavior. The way in which the parents had treated to Kaki for this little girl, little Ladli, was very surprised, and also she was feeling very sorrow to it and sad to it. Why hadn't they fed Kaki? Why hadn't Kaki been allowed to eat before the guests and been served? Why they have not fed Kaki till now? Why Kaki was not served the meal before the guests and before all the other members in the house, guests and the visitors? Why she had been left all alone like this in this manner? This makes the little girl, little Ladli, very much in sadful in state. Okay? Ladli had hidden her share of puris in a basket for Kaki. Here it comes the truth, and it is so found to be interesting that how much that Ladli had great love and soft corner in her heart towards to Kaki, because she had already saved and hidden some puris in her basket. For whom? No other than Kaki. This shows the little girl's love, regards and respect and her feeling towards to the old Kaki. This is what we come to learn here. So for today we are going to stop here up to page 85, para number 4 only. So in our next class, once again we will be continuing the remaining part of the story. Children, please remain attentive and pay attention also. At the same time, be serious and be regular in your class, so that you will be able to understand much more in a better way. Thank you.